So I just watched Monkey Man, the all-new revenge action thriller by Dev Patel, star of the amazing Avatar: The Last Airbender movie. Now, Dev is a very interesting actor that has had a rocky and interesting career, starting with Skins on British TV,
I've always wanted to fuck an older woman.
moving to Oscar-winning film with Slumdog Millionaire, to being in a crap blockbuster, which led him down a path of doing performance-driven, more independent movies that have garnered him critical acclaim. He's also one of the most successful South Asian actors in England/America, so of course I've been following his career. I was also very excited for this film, as it seemed like a cool step up for him, and also because I'm a sucker for action movies. But honestly, I feel like if Dev Patel wasn't involved with this, the movie wouldn't have been as popular as it has become, and definitely wouldn't have been as hyped up, because I found Monkey Man to be a very hollow action movie. The character that Dev plays is very shallow, he doesn't really have much going on for him, and if it wasn't for the angry deer in front of headlights performance by Dev, I wouldn't have really cared for him either. He's fueled by revenge, but aside from that, he's just a guy. Even Johnny from The Room had more character, you know, at least you got to see his relationships, how he's seen in his community, why he does what he does. You don't really get much of that in Monkey Man, all jokes aside. It's a very narrow movie. And it's not like the protagonist doesn't interact with the world around him, he's put into situations, but every other character feels like a one-note caricature that would appear in a side mission in a video game. Nobody is all that memorable, and it can really make the beautiful urban India background feel kind of wasted. Like, yes, I know why this guy wants revenge, but why does he wrestle? How did he get there? How did he meet the characters he does talk to? Does he have anything else going on? He doesn't even have a love interest, and I don't really think that's necessary in a movie, but it could have improved this one, as he really doesn't have much of a character besides, I will get revenge. He's just so lifeless. You can heavily see how inspired by Asian cinema in general, East and South, Dev was when it comes to the making of this film, as it has a lot of cliches and tropes from Indian cinema, as well as Hong Kong cinema. Corrupt cops, a political revolution, female loved one death fueling revenge, etc. But it doesn't really branch out or develop any of these things. The movie has these reoccurring flashbacks with the protagonist and his mother as she tells the tale of Hanuman to the Monkey Man, and those scenes have this really soothing, harmonic feel to them, and there's a sense of deconstructing the toxicity of worship through these flashbacks as the tale kind of reflects the hero's struggle. It's just, the other political stuff is very surface level and in your face, and doesn't really say anything that the audience doesn't already know. I'd compare that stuff to the mass South Indian movies from directors like Atlee, social commentary action films that are very broad and in your face. But with this being such a massive thing in India, I feel like those types of mass movies get to have a more larger than life feel with more ambitious set pieces and out of this world action scenes. In comparison, Monkey Man feels more reserved, and the political stuff being very narrow doesn't really have an excuse, it's just there. Some of the stuff it shows is good, but it doesn't expand on it. The action is also an acquired taste. It's very intimate and close up so that you feel like you're watching this from within the Monkey Man, kind of linking back to the spiritual theme of the movie. There's some very cool usages of different perspectives and lenses to make the movie feel more amateur and internal, so if you're into that sort of action, you'll probs enjoy it. It hurt my eyes personally. The movie spontaneously changes its perspective throughout fight scenes, and there's also a choppy way of showcasing what's happening in the fights, as the movie shows the start and conclusion of a duel, but fails to show how we got to the final blow numerous times. I want to see all the action in my action movies. I don't just want to see a bunch of opening moves and the aftermath edited all weirdly. This is something that does get better, you know, in the more mellowed out second half of the film though. The second half is way more chill and has the movie going places. It feels more original than the first half due to the stakes getting higher and the characters having to resolve the issue he's caused by failing to get his revenge. The action gets more time to relax and we get to see long glimpses of it. Another thing I enjoyed about Monkey Man was the gritty urban look and feel of the film. It feels very raw, very honest and very damp. It doesn't look like some artificial commercial film, it feels very real and honest, and that helps heighten the world and actually make it feel lively, something our main character isn't. Monkey Man is a solid directorial debut. It's a very by-the-book action movie which borrows from all the iconic tropes of Asian cinema, but shines when compared to its contemporaries due to its very raw and honest feel and look, and the passionately driven, intimate action that surrounds the film. Is it something new, original and unique? No. But it's definitely better than a lot of action movies out there right now, and definitely something to be proud of. 3 out of 5, closer to a 2.5 out of 5. Speaking of politics, I also watched Civil War, and it was very good. Civil War follows a group of war photographers / journalists as they go on a journey to DC through war-stricken America, and it's very tense and cold and really showcases the brutality and gruesomeness of war in a very unexpectedly overwhelming way that you don't see coming. War, especially in Western countries, with the power of freedom of speech, is a very grey thing. It's a very grey area, and eventually you end up just caring about yourself or try to move forward and not look at what's happening behind you. That's what Civil War tackles. It tackles and dissects the harshness of the situation in front of us and wants us to question the spines of our characters. It also has some of the most harsh and thrilling moments of violence in any movie I've seen, with every gunshot feeling bigger than any you've heard before. This, along with the very guerrilla, fly-on-the-wall look and narrative, helps the movie feel real. It's all just done exceptionally well. The movie has received a lot of criticism on social media for appearing centrist from interviews and trailers. A lot of people are calling it unpolitical, but it is political. The entire movie questions the sanity and morality of war journalists. It questions our characters' motives subtly. We go through this journey watching them suffer and go through different stages and ways of grief. It questions what it means to be human, and if they should be objective or if they should try to be subjective, depending on the situation. And it does this so exceptionally well that it doesn't appear preachy or biased, just like the subjects it's studying. It's insane to me that people are calling this unpolitical just because it doesn't focus on the flawed two-party system of America. Movies can be political without calling themselves liberal or Republican, and there's still tidbits of information and characters that feel more fleshed out and sympathetic than others. Jesse Plemons' 10-minute cameo has him playing an unhinged patriotic faction soldier that rivals the insanity he showcases in Breaking Bad as Todd. The president is quite clearly a puppet president, meant to appear as a parody of recent Republican elects, as well as the fascist dictators of yesteryear. There's even a line of dialogue hinting at this and his forced charisma. If you can't tell, I really liked this movie, and I highly recommend it. Cinematography good, editing good, acting good, wow, directing good. Loved how frozen our leads were. The highlight performers for me were Wagner Moura and of course Jesse Plemons with his little show-stealing cameo. Moura gets to be more open about his emotions and empties his head for the audience way more often than the other characters, and he gets to display the confusing nature of moving forward in a way the audience can grasp and unravel. Also love the PTSD-stricken character of Lee Smith, played by Kirsten Dunst, who gets to fight the robotic trance that their job in this current situation has put them in. Thought blurring the background and causing an almost phasing effect via prism was a great way to show the blurred out thoughts of horror hidden within her head. 4 out of 5, watched it, I liked it a lot, it was great.